all these shows are so different. I like your background this week. It's definitely different.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was comfortable in my living room the last time, and now I'm just comfortable at one of my dining room tables. I mean, I really would like to get a clothing line started for sure. I want to do
Okay.
like hoodies, tank tops, and like form-fitting clothes that fit women. My daughter is an amazing, she like designs clothes. So I told her the other day, I'm like, I need you to design a whole bunch of stuff for me. And then we'll just figure out how we're going to get someone to make it for us and put my little logo on the bottom somewhere and go from there. So
It's all it takes is getting the info out there. So you're talking about form-fitting clothes real quick. Let's go into a little bit of that. Form-fitting, I would imagine, are you talking just pertaining more to women in general because the figures are so different, whether it's, breast size, body in general, or males too? You're talking about just women right now, right?
no, both male
Okay.
and women. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I just feel like, especially, I'll give you this, especially tall women. We have such a hard time trying to fit. Like, there's so many cute outfits that you're like, oh, that looks gorgeous. But then you get it on and it's like you're wearing flood pants, or the waist is way up here and then the bottom's at your knees. Like, for tall women, it's very, very hard. So I'm trying, and I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I'll do some of these clothes, but I am not a huge fan of the high rise.
Hmm.
Never have been, never was. I'm more like, I don't know if you can tell, like on my hips, I'm more of a low rise. Everything's mid or high. And I get why people like it, but it's just not for me. So I want to design like, like jumper shoots and jeans. And
Why do you think that is it? Why do you think those old trends come back? I see that all the time now. All these younger women are wearing these flood pants, almost like Jinkos. I mean, I had a pair of Jinkos in high school. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Like, they're so ugly, terrible.
Right.
So why is that stuff come back? And so you want to kind of just stick to that type of style. I mean, sure, there are places that just sell that style of clothing still, right?
There's really not. It's very
Really?
hard to find. It is so hard to find low rise jeans. It's like, it's a nightmare.
Wow.
And it's so true. Like, the trends come back and they pick the ugliest trends on the planets come back. You know what I would like to see come back? Not gonna lie. Like, if you got like the 50s style where the men just look like men and wear the beautiful bomb ass suits and the
Yep.
women just wear the cute little dresses, like, that is gorgeous to me. I'd wear that shit all day long.
It's funny you bring that up because I was watching. I don't know if you ever watched Boardwalk Empire. It was a show that used to be on HBO. And it really highlighted the 50s. It highlighted kind of prohibition and things like that. And the way they dressed. I was talking to my friend about it. I said, look at the way these guys dressed every day.
Yep.
I said, and you come out of what everybody here, the world went through with COVID. Now you've got people coming into the office with sweatpants on, which is fine, but we've got to keep some sort of sense of like professional.
I feel like it's disrespectful. I feel like it's very disrespectful. I feel even nowadays, like, I mean, it's a horrible thing to go to a funeral, but growing up, when you go to a funeral, you dress nice, you're respectful. When you go to a wedding, you dress nice, you're respectful. And I've been to funerals and weddings lately. Oh, it's just disrespectful to me. I'm a different breed. I don't like it. I don't like the way a lot of men dress nowadays. They dress like, I don't know. It's too feminine for me. Like, I see a man and I don't care what your gender is or what your sexual preference is.
Sure.
But if you're the man, like, I like that manly dress. I like that, the suits and
sure.
It doesn't even have to be suits, just a nice shirt and tight fitting
button
pants.
down, just,
yes.
button down, business casual, whatever the hell. I mean, just you did bring up another great point there. You said that the feminine side, what is up with the teenage male and pink? I actually have, this could be some like crazy subconscious shit. I actually own a pair of Nikes that are pink. Now, I just like them. Is that in me subconsciously? What's up with pink, and why are all these men showing so much pink? I see the boxers, Jake Paul doing this. There's a lot of it out there. What is it?
I don't know. Is pink's for like the breast cancer. I don't know if they do it for the awareness.
It is. I think are they trying? I feel like there's some, and you can totally tell me, Dave, you're paranoid.
Yeah.
Is there some type of like trying to feminize the male image in the world today? Because there's all this like, back in the day, it was like, okay, if you were trans, if you were gay, I was like, whatever, and if it came out, it came out a little weird, but and then everybody like accepted it. But now it's like gone so far as like
They put it.
like it's literally you have to have a trans reporter, you have to have now a trans, right? It's like, why is that? It's kind of crazy.
Right. I agree. I don't, you want to be gay, be gay. I don't care. I don't care if you want to be transgender. I don't care about any of that. Like, I love you for who you are. As long as you're a good person, I don't give a shit what you are. But I don't like it being shoved down everybody's throat that this is what has to happen. This is what it is. I think that's wrong. I don't agree with that. And the other thing I don't agree with, and I'll probably don't come at me, I'll get a lot of hate for it, is I am one of those people. There are two genders for me. If you're a man, you have a penis. If you're a woman, you have a vagina. That is it. There's not, I don't know how it's even possible that there's 76 genders. Sure. That makes no sense to me. No sense to me.
It's interesting because you do see all of the banter back and forth with sociology professors and people like this, and they're like, okay, you identify as this, or I identify as a bear or something. It's like, okay, I can identify as something. Like, I'll identify myself as a confident guy, but I'll tell you what, I'm a guy, and
right.
I've never really thought about being a girl.
Right.
But if that's the way you want to roll, that's great. And kudos to you. I've got plenty of friends that are close that are like that, and great. God bless you. But don't the whole shoving it down the throat from a media perspective is unbelievable. Anyways, so you're experienced here. You have children. What was what advice do you have for parents out there who have 4 and 5 year olds? This is one of the things I want to cover last week. We're going to get into some tattoos here in a little bit and some other stuff. But what advice do you have for parents out there who are really in the gauntlet? Struggling. Husband, wife working. They never see each other, but everybody's telling you it goes by so fast. How do you live in the moment? And for adults who are in that anywhere who have 4 and 5 year olds right now.
You know what? For me, it was, they say live in the moment, and it's very true. Like 4 and 5 year olds will tell you the most random stories that you have zero interest in listening to. But what worked for me is I actually listen to their story. When my kids are telling me something, my focus is on them and them only. But I have rules in my house. I always did. So when it came to when I was with my husband, you have to have the husband-wife time. You have to set time aside for that, because if you don't, your relationship suffers. And that's when the cheating, the lying, the bullshit comes in play. And you don't want that. That's terrible. So you have to set rules for your kids. They're 4 and 5, yes, but they're your kids. So I feel like when you're 4 and 5, you should be in bed by 8:30. Mm-hmm. That's your adult time. There's rules, because if you don't set rules now, then kids grow up to be assholes, honestly. So
I like that. Kids, I like hearing that. That's good.
My kids had rules. You eat in the kitchen. There's no eating wherever you want to. There's no drinking wherever you want to. You eat in the kitchen at the table. That's it. You want to color and draw, you draw at the table. You're not going to be walking around markers around all over my house. When my kids had a playroom, that's where you played. If you wanted to bring toys in the living room, that's fine, but you're not allowed to play with, throw everything out and then just walk away. You need to clean up your messes. They need to know respect. Like when I'm having an adult conversation, that's an adult conversation. That does not mean you come in and interrupt me. You'll wait. And then when I'm done, I will talk to you. Like my kids are, I don't know. For me, it was different because I see today where 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds run rampant all over their parents and curse them out and so disrespectful. And I would knock the shit out of my kid if they ever talk to me like that, ever. I'm to the point now, my kids are old. They're 23 and 19, but my kids are so respectful. I have to give them a look and they're like, oh shit. Okay. Done.
Yeah. They know.
Because if you don't set those boundaries, then you have the kids that grow up to, I'm sorry, again, don't come for me, but kids grow up to be assholes. They're disrespectful, think they're entitled to whatever. I have an opinion. You need to listen to me. And it's bullshit. I would never, ever be disrespectful to an adult the way kids are today, ever.
Yeah. And it's I remember I knew when my dad was pissed. I knew what would make him mad. You know, I got my ass beat, and the stuff that these kids get away with today is flabbergasts me to
Yes.
the point of
Yeah.
holy shit. And you know, I agree with my wife on this that you know I swear a little bit too much, and I've seen them pick that up, so I kind of nip that in the butt. But you know,
Mhm.
I tell my son stories. I'm like, yo, I used to get like full bars of soap in my mouth, dude. Like
Mhm.
they're not even doing that to you today. Because nowadays, if I even put my hand and you get a little bruise, they're calling GFS, not GFS,
Yeah.
not Gordon Food Service,
CPS.
G whatever the fuck. You know, you can't touch them.
Yep.
So what do
And
you
it's
got?
bullshit. Like I got my ass beat when I was a kid too. And my kids, I hit my kids once each. And that was the only time I had to do it because they learned really, really quickly. Like, you don't disrespect me. I'm your mother. I'm
Sure.
your friend. Yes, we can talk, we can joke around, but I'm your mother. So what I say goes, and that's it.
You know,
And my kids, I have a mouth like a trucker. We all know this. I have a
yeah,
sailor mouth
that's
from New
true.
York.
That's true.
And
You're worse
my kids,
than I am, I think. Maybe.
yeah,
Possibly, yes. But
I
you
do.
have to.
I have a foul mouth, and my kids grew up with that, but they never, they never picked up on it. Like now they're older, they have a mouth now, but when they were younger, they were very respectful. They just because I did it does not mean you're allowed to do. When you're an
Mhm.
adult, then you can say what you want. But until then, until you pay some bills in my house, you don't make the rules. You do what I say. You don't like the
Amen to
rules, then you
that.
can go get your own place.
Amen to that. I remember when my dad came downstairs and he asked me, he's like, yo, $300. This is right when I was out of college. I was interning downtown in Chicago for a radio station. And he's like, $300. I'm like, for what? He's like, rent, electric, blah, blah. And I said, okay.
Right.
I paid him one time and I was out. I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm paying somebody else. And it was a big moment for me because I had really never been out on my own, but I remember that. And then, looking back at it now, everything that they had done to an extent, not everything, um, you know, uh, now I understand why. We were just like just shitheads. Anyways,
Yeah. And
okay,
but you know what? We're a different generation because I feel like the age
that's
that
true.
the kids are now, they can't survive. Like by the time I was my daughter's age, I was already married. I was already on my own. I did my own thing. Granted, my daughter's very independent, but kids will stay living at home until they're 28, 29 years old, which
Yeah,
is
you're
a
right.
catch 22 because
It's unbelievable. I
it's
mean,
expensive,
it really
but
is. It really is. I mean, look at the weather that's been going on, right? So yesterday, this is a perfect example. In the 80s, there'd be 6 tornadoes, fucking 9 feet of snow. Everybody's going to school. And
yep.
nowadays they're like, oh, it might snow later between 4 to 8 inches of wet snow. We're gonna cancel the whole day. Some are gonna do a half day. And guess
Mhm.
what? We're gonna do e-learning at home. Like there was no fucking e-learning back then. It was like, oh, you had an off day, it was a snow day, and it was probably gonna snow 3, 4 feet. But even then, they were like, yeah, school's still open if anybody wants to come out.
Right, right. Yeah, it's very
Crazy.
different. I feel like it's very what's the word I'm trying to look for?
Liberal, libs.
Liberal, yes, and I
We're
feel like
fucked.
everybody's
This is
just
well, you know what? I don't really care. We can say what we want on this podcast because it's your show. Number one. Number two, that's why we have different shows, right? They don't like
yeah,
it, go to the next show. But I agree with you. It's just a softer world,
soft.
you know.
So there's snowflakes, soft. Is everybody's
Mm,
sensitive? I feel like
I
there
like
is
that one. Snowflake. That should be a
there's snowflake.
yes, you should have a
You
shirt.
can't say
That should be in your line. Snowflake.
it should be you can't say anything to anybody anymore. If you have an opinion, then it's like, oh, you hurt my feelings. I need to call the cops. Like back in my day, you said whatever you wanted. And if you
Mhm.
got your ass kicked and you moved on, you were friends the next day.
You,
That's
you
not how it is
you
anymore.
you learned your lesson. And I have one
Yeah.
story for that, and then we'll move on because people are probably skipping through the podcast at this point. Like, oh my God, these two are just talking about fucking, politics now. Oh my Lord. So I called somebody a racial slur at a young age, and the
Mhm.
guy, I had no idea at the time, dude was a state wrestler, big time.
Mhm.
I called him slur. And he simply punched me in the stomach. I lost the wind knocked out of me. And
Yeah.
he said, never call me that again. And I was like, okay, but I had heard my grandfather saying it at home.
Mhm.
I had heard, so it was one of those moments where it was actually a good thing because you learn to respect, and
Yeah.
then because there's a difference between the older or age where they were just let's call it what it is. They were racist. I mean, they're fucking racist, and for no reason. And we all know the generation that we're coming from. It's just color, but not everybody, but it's just color, and
Right.
people are classified as whatever. But anyways, going down a fucking rabbit hole here. Any final thoughts on that before we move on here?
No, I think we need to bring a little bit of the older generation back. I think men need to be more manly. Women need to stop being so bitchy, like empower other women, empower other men. The whole everybody being assholes to everybody all the time. I cannot stand that shit. Why do you have to be mean? Be nice. Be nice. I don't get it.
Well, the world and karma will reward you, right? The universe will reward you at some point. Like if you're running low on cash, I always believed, still give the waitress the 20%, still do all that stuff because it's going to come back. Don't worry if you're struggling because it's going to come back. So that's a really good point. And men, yeah, dress. I heard this one time, and I think your dog agrees here. What's her name again? What's her name? Raja. I thought it was Susie. Raja. Okay. Yeah. So Raja agrees. Dress for the position you want, not the one you have, right? At work, absolutely. At anything. So for me, I heard that a long time ago. And, there's plenty of days I woke up going to the office where there was going to be nobody there, still put the slacks on, still put the nice clothes on and go about your day.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much have I have 2 jobs, but I work from home most of the time. But every day, like every single day, whether I'm doing a podcast, whether I'm doing pictures or not, I'm up, I'm dressed, house is clean every single day.
You have to, right? Isn't that what
Let's
they say with the Marines? You make your bed. That's like the first thing you do in the day, in the morning, and that's like the first task. Like you've mentally done something or whatever.
Yep. We got my bed. The second I get out of bed, my bed is made, and plus it makes you feel better. It makes you feel better about yourself.
That's why my life is a fucking mess. Is because I don't make my bed ever, and it's not good.
That is the first thing I do. And let's just say, I mean, it's so rare. If it happens once every couple of years that I get up late or something and I have to be somewhere and I have to leave before making my bed, I can't concentrate on what it is that I'm doing because all I'm thinking about is that I didn't make my bed this morning. That's
what it's all about. You get that one task done. So that's good. And you have created that habit, which gets that day started. So let's talk, since we're on that topic of TikTok, let's talk about the TikTok. I think this will be good for a lot of girls out there. What are your thoughts on that new app, or excuse me, the new filter, the modeling filter? This is fucking with people.
So it is fucking with people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm upset. I've used it. I'll get on there. I'm like, oh my God, if my face.
You have it on now? You have it on now, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you had it on now. I thought you had it on a feature on your phone. Oh, see, you don't even need it. See?
No, this is me naturally, but no, I thank you.
Okay. See, Zoom. Okay.
But that filter, I don't know. There's a line between it. So it's a beautiful filter. So sometimes I feel like if a girl wants to use that filter to make herself feel beautiful, go for it. I think it's great. I am one of those people that, people talk shit about all the time. Like, oh, you got your nose done. You got your cheek fillers. Who cares? If it makes you feel better about yourself and puts you in a better mood and helps your quality of life for you, then fucking do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. Filter wise, maybe a little bit different because it's that filter is drastic. It really is drastic. It's beautiful, but it is drastic. So I've seen both sides. I've seen women that use it and they're like, oh, I love this. And it gives them confidence. But then I've seen the other where women use it and then they feel terrible about themselves because that's not how they really look.
Because that's the case. And I talk to people all the time about this and they're like, oh my God, you're always on your phone. I'm like, well, I'm using it for totally different reasons. You got to understand. But people in general, they're so stupid. Like it really does fuck people up. And I do feel bad. Like social media does fuck people up, but you have the other one now that's even fucking more people up. Have you seen the one where, it shows you when you're your younger self or whatever? And I'm seeing fucking like old men crying and shit. And I'm fucking flipping through those. I don't like that shit. That's fucking weird.
It is weird. It is like, I think nowadays, nobody really loves themselves. Like nobody likes who they are. Nobody loves who they are. And everybody has this, you have to be like this. You have to look like this. You have to do this. No, be happy with yourself. Like Do I think I'm the most beautiful woman in the world? Absolutely not. But I like me. I love myself. I think, as long as I think I look okay, that's all that really matters. I know that I have a good heart. I'm a good person. I'll do anything for anybody. But people nowadays put on an act of, well, if I don't look like this, they're not going to like me. So then they pretend to be someone else. And that is insane to me. Be happy with who you are. And if you're not happy with who you are, then only you can change that. Don't listen to anybody else's opinions. If you feel good in your heart, that's all that fucking matters.
What do they call that? Inner beauty. You got to have inner beauty, right?
Yep. You got to have the inner beauty.
I got to agree with you, because I wake up every day, feeling like a millionaire, thinking like I look like Brad Pitt. And I know I'm far away from it, but the reality is that you're really, it's just a mental state. And I think, when I see these older guys or women looking at us, I'm like, it's okay to get older. There's not, because listen, even if, like you said earlier, with cheeks done or whatever, not only does it make you happy, there are an ample amount of guys out there that love that too. So it's when people say those things, like you said, they're clearly not happy with themselves, and there's some sort of an issue there. And God bless everybody, but these filters are crazy. And now wait till the AI game. I mean, can you imagine porn with AI as we go forward? I mean, guys are going to have literally, they're not going to leave their house, right?
I know. Like legitimately, it's going to be like, what's that movie? Demolition Man. I remember the first time I saw that movie, I'm like, that is so weird, but we are getting closer and closer to where people won't have any real human interaction. I mean, it's that bad now, but
yes.
How are you going to have sex on a video game?
Oh my gosh. Or, I mean, because
right now, work?
Well, right now you can get you can get dolls sent to your house or whatever, like the sex dolls, but those are even more odd, I guess, awkward, but because guys now can get stuck in that hole, right? They have relationships with people just online like this, or the cam live sites versus OnlyFans. You know how it is. I mean, people get lost in the shuffle. So have you noticed any do you have any weird interactions on OnlyFans or anything, or is it pretty clean for you?
You know what's funny? Not so much on OnlyFans, but I've had a lot on Instagram. I actually had to go to the police last year. I had like a little stalker who I told you there are a lot of fake pages of my face name out there. And these fake pages will message people and ask them for money and give them these sob stories. And one day this guy wrote to me and was like, hey, I've been talking to you here. Did you get that $1,000? And I'm like, oh, honey, you're not talking to me, love. I'm so sorry. It's not me. And at the time I was married, and I was like, I'm married. I didn't ask you for any money. That will never happen. And he did not believe me. Like he would just keep sending them money. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm never going to get on. I mean, need to make this very clear. I am never, ever going to message anybody and ask you to invest in a business. I'm never going to ask you for Bitcoin. I'm never going to ask you for money. I am never going to ask you to be my husband or my boyfriend. And I am never going to leave my home and my family for anybody. It is never going to happen. And these people will legitimately in their heads believe that they've been in a relationship with me. And I'm like, sweetheart, we've never even talked on the phone or FaceTime. How are we in a relationship? How does that happen? Sometimes I don't feel bad, because I feel like it is 2023. If you are that fucking insane that you believe you're in a relationship with someone that you have never physically seen, then you kind of deserve it, honestly.
And that could be, and again, we don't know, right? To each their own. That could be part of their fantasy. Who the hell knows, right? But you also know that it's got to be you and obviously 40 other women. But I'll tell you right now, there's probably, what would you say the number is? I would say 10. We don't even have to air this. This could be hash mark after that. You see, there's 10 guys out there that legitimately are just. I would say there's 10 guys that legitimately have maybe a shrine of you. Thoughts on that? Maybe. No. I don't know.
I probably know of at least 2 or 3 for sure.
Okay.
But they're very respectful. They always ask me, is it okay if I use your picture as my screensaver? Is it okay if Yeah, I've had people that are very respectful. Can I use your picture as my home screen on my phone? And I'm just like, oh my God, you're very sweet. Yes. I mean,
Okay.
they're not asking for the naked pictures. They'll send me like a picture of my bikini. Like, can I use this? Absolutely. Like, so people, when I say I have the most amazing fans, I'm not lying. I have
Yeah.
the most respectful, wonderful fans, and I love them all. It's very rare. I have the one-offs that are douchebags where I'm like, and we're done. But for the most part, I really have no complaints. I've been very, very, very lucky. I really have been.
I feel like those guys who come in try to be douchebags. They test it. They see if you're going to go. If it's no, they go somewhere else. And then, um, you know, these guys who are nice, really, it starts with you, right? You set the tone. I mean, if you talked about it in episode 1 in the pilot, what did you call it? Erotically classy or exotic? What was the term again?
Keep it as erotically classy, sexy as I possibly can.
That's right, classy. Right. So again, that's the tone, and so some of those and all of your fans are going to have that kind of mutual respect, which is great. So what happened this week with tattoos? Anything?
Yes, so I'm going tonight actually again to finish my hip. I think I got 4 sessions left.
Okay.
And it will finally be done. It's 6 years in the making. I actually still have some glue on there because they do that new thing with the tattoos now where they put the clear tape over it instead of saran wrapping and put lotion on. Tape works wonderful.
Talk about that for a minute. For to a guy I have 0 tattoos. What does that mean? So they used to wrap it and then to dry it or heal?
Yeah, usually when you first start getting a tattoos, they used to saran wrap it. They wipe it down, they saran wrap it. You leave it on for like 2 hours, and you go home, you wash it with soap, and then you just make sure you're loading it for a couple days, and then it dries and cracks, gets really ishy. Where this stuff, you don't have to do any of that. It sticks on your tattoo. You leave it on for 3 to 5 days. You peel it off. You're done. You're healed. I like it, but I don't like it. Peeling it off is awful. It's like absolutely awful.
Is it like a Band-Aid?
Worse. It's like a sticky, like, I don't know. It's worse than a Band-Aid because it's very sticky. It's clear. You got to pull it off. It's very gluey. So when you take it off, you got to scrub the glue off. It's not the best.
I can't remember. You're covering an old tattoo, correct?
I'm old tattoo.
Okay. And so there's only how many sessions are left?
Probably maybe 3 or 4, and I'm done.
Now, when you do that, how's that work in the tattoo game? You pay up front, you pay half. How's that work?
Usually you pay as soon as you're done.
Okay.
You don't. I mean, my tattoo artist knows me, so he knows that I don't have to pay up front because he knows I'm going to pay him when we're.
Sure.
And tattoos are tattoos are expensive. It's an expensive habit, but I mean, I feel like they're totally worth it. I'm obsessed with tattoos.
Is it true after you get the first one, you want more?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I got my very first tattoo is this one.
That was my next question was the first tattoo. That was it.
That was it. It was my kids' names. And what's funny, when I went to do it, the man that tattooed me had tattoos on his face. He had tattoos everywhere. And he's like, "This is your first tattoo?" Yeah. He's like, "You want to do your ribs?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "Let me show you something." And he lifted up his shirt and he had this little tiny black line on his ribs. He's like, "That's as far as I got." And I'm like, "Well, shit, why are you telling me that? Like, now I'm scared. Is it going to hurt really bad?" I was terrified. And it was my least painful tattoo. Wow. I almost fell asleep.
So
like, this isn't at all.
So pain tolerance is high. That's what you're saying.
It used to be. The older you get, the worse.
So where are the softer places to get a tattoo for somebody who would want to get their first one? What would you recommend? Like over the shoulder or where?
Oh God, no. Very first one over your shoulder is a terrible place. It hurts.
Okay. Well, that's why. Yeah, I don't have it yet. But I mean, what about the muscle over here? No, back.
Well, I don't know. Listen, you see this one? These are my shoulder tattoos.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep.
Awful. They hurt so bad. It was ridiculous. I'd say the safest spot right here. You're by the bed. Do that.
Okay.
That or your forearm. Not too bad.
See, but now I got to work out. I hate the gym. I don't want to work out. I'm not doing that. Because I feel like if I get a tattoo,
if you have tattoos, Dave, you don't need to work out. It makes you look
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know, but that's interesting. I've got buddies who I lived with who have tattoos. They got, they only do their left side or their right side, and they only go to certain points. Whatever. So business. So tattoos are interesting to me. I do definitely. I want to get one at some point. I've got some ideas, and I'm going to get one for sure. Have to.
I think I'm going to be there for it when you get one.
All right,
I have to be there.
Deal. We'll work that out because I know that'll be at least a year from now, and because I do want to incorporate. I do like the idea of tattoos, not like my uncle, where he went as far to get like my grandpa's face tattooed on his forearm, which was just, no offense, hideous. But he had a shit artist do it. No offense, he'll never hear this episode, but I do like the heritage. Like my grandfather, he loved jazz, so I like the idea of the creativity of putting a tattoo together. And
I feel
putting something on my body.
It's a very important thing with tattoos. Your tattoo should have meaning to you. If you're just getting a tattoo just to put something on your body, I think that's silly. All of my tattoos have meaning. They all mean something to me. You have to do something that means something to you because it's going to be on your body for the rest of your life. It's an investment.
When you're hanging out with people with tattoos, is that what you guys talk about or no? When you first meet?
Not really. I mean, I've had people ask, how many tattoos do you have and what's your favorite? But that's pretty much.
It's a good icebreaker,
It is a good icebreaker, but there are so many people that are tattooed now. It's like normal.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Back they'd be like, oh, you have tattoos. What are they? What do they mean? And now it's everybody's got them. You're just like, oh, another tattooed person.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. And then the people who are like, yeah, I've got like 20 and you don't see any on them. You're like, so they're all by your privates or like, but I don't understand. And then how big are they? So, but tattoos are cool. If women are wondering here, #AfterDark, tattoos for me, I was always attracted to that goth kind of look, and mm-hmm. tattoos kind of went with that, and that was more not necessarily. I mean, I would even go as far as like the really pale gothic chicks who had tattoos, and that's when I first was listening to like Marilyn Manson. This is like back in the fucking 90s, but that's mm-hmm. where I really got into tattoos. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, everybody fucking has tattoos. So that's that's how I got.
Man is so sexy. It is.
So very. So for guys listening out there today, is that going to trump a guy who doesn't have them? Have you? Did your husband have them, or your ex ever have them, or no? Is that or no?
Yes, he had a tattoo. He had a big one on his chest.
Nice.
We actually had. This is why this one right here, this one on my wrist was a cover up because I had Beauty on my arm. He had Beast on his. No, that no exist.
Okay.
Do I have anything against people that don't have tattoos? No. If I see a beautiful man without them, you're beautiful, yes, but I am more attracted to people that have.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean,
first appearance, first glance, I'm like, oh, sexy. He's got tattoos.
Are cool. Tattoos are cool. I was standing in a smoke shop recently and looking at some cigars, and there was another guy in the shop and he had tattoos. Another chick walks in. She had tattoos. I said hi, she said hi, and then I kind of glanced over to see she looked at him and did a down up check, way more, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
again, married man here. I'm just saying in general, right. You're right. If they like that, they like that. So that's good that you put it that way. Okay, so tattoos almost done. So after this one, are you going to get any more? Are you on a tattoo break? Are you going to put what's the next step after these get covered up?
I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you I'm going to take a break, but I guarantee I'll wind up getting another one within the next month or so.
Really? The next month? Wow. That's right up. That's is the pain and the process. Is there any adrenaline rush there? Part of the addiction or no? The anxiety or nervousness at all or no?
No, I don't have that anymore. I have so many. Sure. That I don't get anxiety anymore.
Well, just like the excitement, right? Or the process. Do you like that? The whole thing you're addicted to, right?
I am addicted to the whole thing. The pain. Okay. I did these cover-ups. I did these with no cream or nothing, no numbing cream. I just had the pain because I felt like I needed to feel the pain. Other ones, not so much. So it depends.
Okay.
I will tell you, if you're in a really shitty spot, if you're in a really bad head spot, it is therapy. You go get a tattoo, that pain, I don't know. I can't explain it. It is absolutely therapy.
Watch episode 3. I'm coming out here and my fucking face is tatted up like Mike Tyson. Like, hey, what the fuck did you do, dude? You know,
Lee Bella told me it was therapy.
yeah. Now I'm divorced. It's an official divorce podcast. No. Let me ask you real quick. I did know. Do you have girls, or you have some on your feet at all, or no?
What? Have one of my
tattoos? Do you have any tattoos on your feet or foot at all, or no?
No, I have no foot tattoos.
I didn't know, because I would assume that would be painful, but I know people get those, so I don't know.
The most painful places to get a tattoo, so I have not crossed that bridge yet, but who knows? Maybe that'll be my next tattoo. I don't know. I'll let you know.
You never know. You never know. So I think we've got I think we've got some good shit here for episode 2. Anything else that you wanted to talk about this week? I didn't really want to. I mean, any divorce updates? Do you even want to give anybody, or are you cool? I mean, what do you want me to? I can throw that in the front, or are you fine with that? I mean,
I don't care. Yeah, I'm an open book. I don't care. I'll talk about anything. No divorce updates at this moment. Just waiting for the decree to be signed. So
okay. And then with any plans coming up for St. Patrick's Day, even though it's 2 weeks away?
No, I have no plans. Zero. I'll probably my family have a beer or two, and that'll be it.
Okay.
Next, I feel like we should talk about what it's like to be single and dating in this day and age, because it's fucking terrible.
You know, I love that. I love that idea, and that's a great teaser to episode 3, because I could not even imagine. But what and here, we'll tease this episode. We can talk a little bit about it here. What I would do is probably, in some sort of a way, continue to do, I guess, what I'm doing, and then, but it'd have to be human interaction. I'm not bragging at all. I've legitimately never been on a dating site, so I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do. And I'm not gonna lie, #, after dark, I would just get on there to fuck people. I wouldn't even, I mean, and I've heard so many stories about like the mingle, whatever, and that's all people do. Like, that's all I would do. I tell people all the time right now. But again, that's because I can't do that maybe right now. I don't know.
You say that now, but I don't know, because when I was, when I got divorced from my first ex-husband, I was younger. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to know anything about anybody's life. I'm like, I just, I'm single. I just want to have sex. I'm good. And this time around, I'm like, ugh, the thought of that makes, oh my God, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I really don't. And I'm very not happy to put me on a dating site. And I lasted like 2 days. I'm like, I can't do this shit. I can't do it. I'm done.
It's gotta be a full-time job. Like looking at the profiles and then connecting. Like, do you even want to be that compatible? Now, there are a lot of folks out there that aren't, I guess, and then have met and have great lives. I don't know, but okay. Episode 3, dating. Dating in your 30s, right? Oh no, sorry, 44. Thought you were
40s.
Dating in your 40s.
It sucks.
But do you even want to go back into that right away, or no?
No, it's not. I am very independent. I'm good being by myself, but I'm a hopeless romantic. I like the love. I like sharing my life with someone. I like having a partner in crime. I like, having our bubble. I like that stuff. I'm in love with being in love. I really am. Yeah. I can be single. I'm fine being independent. I have my own, I'm fine with that. But if I had my choice, I would be in love. That's what I love.
Men, I mean, you want a woman who knows what she wants. As my set collapses behind me, guys, here she is. Jesus. And she knows what she wants. So, all right, Christy Lee Bella show, #sports.com. Pretty soon, hopefully, ChristyLeeBella.com. I mean, we have it. We just haven't built it. But yeah, we'll talk next week. Thanks for joining, everybody. And last question. Since episode 1, your breakout episode, which, by the way, good numbers so far. Has anything happened? Like, are people in the streets like chasing you down, or no? This is like a total.
No, we're not there yet. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I cannot wait. I've been saying this forever. I have had people who will message me like, oh my God, I saw you here today, but I didn't want to come say hi. I didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, no, if somebody came up to me and said, hey, you're Christy Lee Bella, that would make my heart feel so warm. I'd be like, oh my God.
Well, that's why, that's why this will be good then, that you're doing this and you're
Yeah.
showing another side of yourself. I mean, how many girls out there, we've talked about this off air. How many girls out there on OnlyFans who don't have a podcast who really get an opportunity to show who they are? Because you really only get to do that through OnlyFans via photo, video, or your messages.
Right. Exactly. So if anybody wants to know, if you see me, please come up and say hi. I am more than happy to have a conversation with you. I'm more than happy to take a picture with you. It's like, I think it's a beautiful thing. You support me. I would love to meet you 100%.
If you see me, come up to me and give me $20.
I'll take that too.
Could use it. No, I know, right? I'll take a picture with somebody. Usually when people see me, they pull out their phone and they're like, oh my God, there he is. Or they're like, well, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get it either. But I don't want it. Do I want it yet? I don't know. I'm an attention whore. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Really, that's why we do what we do, right?
I know that is true. That is true. We'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much, Dave.
All right.
Bye,
See you,
everybody.
Raj.